Do you know what's the number one way to be in bad shit in your life? Go stay with family. Apparently, just go stay with family on a weird farm, and bad stuff is going to happen. No, nobody's watching. Oh yeah, fine. They missed out.
Hey, all right, we're here.
Oh, hey. Well, I didn't see you there.
Golden, the camera's not even on you. Oh, there's a little bit. Yeah, there it is now.
I didn't see you there.
If you're watching this live, happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
You're watching. Yeah, happy Easter. Happy.
If you wonder why my face is so red right before we started recording, I went off on an angry tangent about when I worked at Hollywood Video.
Hold on a second. Let me get through this intro.
My blood pressure's up.
If you're watching or listening to this in the future, we hope you had a great Easter and are enjoying the show. Now, with that, we're going to be talking about Family Dinner that just released a Screenbox. I think Amazon Prime as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It's definitely on Screenbox, which you can get through Amazon Prime, or it's through Bloody Disgusting, unaffiliated with us.
I can check Roku because it's never let me down.
Well, actually, Roku has never let you down. It gave you what you searched for. You just
not the right one.
You just chose not to investigate further.
No, remember, it didn't give me the incantation Netflix one.
Oh,
it only gave me the garbage one that I watched for 30 minutes.
Well, they want you to watch
the other garbage one that I didn't watch.
They want you to watch
Family Dinner 2020. Oh, nope, 2022, right?
Yeah,
not 2012. 2012. What? 2012. Yep, that's it. Okay, it's on Screenbox. You can rent it on Prime or Vudu.
Yeah,
but you have to
well worth the money.
That's a.
They're okay.
It's not worth $3.99.
Yeah, it is.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Hold on.
Buckle your seatbelts. We're gonna fucking argue.
There's a little discretion here.
Watch the movie first. But don't watch the movie first. I'm gonna save you some money. Anthony will tell you to watch the movie first. That way you can agree with me.
I would lump this movie in with like The Invitation, which I know you enjoyed. What?
You know what I would lump this in with?
From like 2017.
Trash.
Where Your Home Is, Oscar the Grouch.
Yep. Pop out of that garbage can and be like, oh, look, what's here? Family Dinner.
You know,
where it belongs.
House of the Devil. It's a very slow burn.
Okay. My complaint.
If you're not a fan of slow burns, character development.
I've been slowly.
Are you one of those people that needs story in your movie?
First off, fuck yourself. I'm not. And people are probably gonna be like, "Oh, that's why Golden didn't like it because it's a slow burn." I've been coming around to slow burns. The reason I don't like it is a whole other reason. Other reason I don't like this, and it has nothing to do with it being a slow burn.
You almost made me swear.
Do it up, swear. Nobody's gonna watch this. It's gonna be like, "Oh, they're reviewing Family Dinner. That movie was garbage." I want to hear Anthony talk about how great this garbage movie is. I don't know what that was your voice. That was our listener's voice. This is probably the French Bobby. Oh, Le Bobby. It's a callback. You better watch the other Critters 2 and then you understand.
Oh, you're a jerk, Golden. So get to your point so I can get to mine.
Oh, yeah. You really want to know my point?
No. But what I interrupted you.
Did you? I don't know. That's fucking that train of thought is off the tracks.
Oh, we got a comment. Golden didn't like a slow burn movie. I'm so shocked.
You stop, Mr. Sir. Maybe you should be here and defend it with your buddy Anthony, because this is garbage. This is a crap movie. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's the slowest slow burn ever. I was awake during the whole thing. And I was hoping. I had so many good hopes for this movie. I thought they did this really cool foreshadowing thing, but they didn't.
What happened to the happy boy? Well, not boy, but the happy octogenarian that messaged me yesterday and said, this movie took a lot of surprising twists I didn't see coming. I really enjoyed it.
I never said that.
Oh, I have the text message right here.
I did not say surprising twists.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, right here. Anthony, I really love this movie, but
I want to
make
our screen. Don't let him lie. Don't let him lie.
More interesting. So I'm going to say I didn't like it.
I didn't like it, and I have good reasons to not like it. I have great reasons to not like it.
Right.
I'm going to say something. This is to you and all the people that like this stuff. Just because a movie is foreign doesn't make it good. Because that's why people are going to like this. This is a movie for movie snobs. They're going to be like, oh, they did such a great job because it was well shot. It was well shot. But you know what? The story wasn't that good because I already saw the story in like the 1990s starring Randy Quaid called The Parents. Yeah, we don't even have to say spoiler alert because you know what? The movie isn't shocking. There's no twists. I've seen this in 100 movies. You call it like 5 minutes in and go, oh. It wasn't shocking, and then just because it's in a foreign language, people are gonna be like,
"Really?
Well, since I had to read it, it was clearly a good movie. It wasn't good."
That's not the case at all, Golden.
That's exactly the case. Tell me what new ground this broke.
What new ground this broke?
Okay, here's the new ground it broke. It was such a non-surprising twist that even one character told the other character that it wasn't a twist. At the twist and said, you knew it all along.
Why does
everybody knew it all along? You telegraphed it because they tried to make a twist. Because they tried to make a twist.
No, your old brain has.
No, they tried to make a twist. They're like,
100 years of cinema.
Oh, we shocked you.
Needs a twist.
They said it in German. Oh, we shocked you.
No, they didn't.
That was French. I don't know what the fuck happened. German Bobby. It's this is a movie that the people that are gonna love it are gonna be those people that are like, oh, well, I've got to say that I love it because I'm a movie snob and it's foreign, so I must like it.
That's not true at all.
Cheerio. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing good. There's nothing good about it.
Got another comment in the chat. Every movie needs to be fully original.
It doesn't have to be fully original, Mr. Sir. But people are going to be like, whoa, this is brilliant. It's not brilliant. It wasn't brilliant. It wasn't. It was not brilliant at all. It was like, oh, okay.
I just think it's a good movie. I didn't say it was brilliant.
I don't think it was good.
Well, okay, so
not good at all.
Hold on. Before we get into this,
about it,
what was your expectation going in? What did you think this movie was going to be about?
I didn't know. I was giving it an open mind.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, let's see. And I was like, okay, it's a slow burn. I'm going to hang on. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to try to enjoy it the best I can. And first of all, one thing that really was weird is, okay, so the main character walks in on her aunt getting boned. And then she's like, oh, I shouldn't be watching this. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, wait, she's about to come. I should come back in and watch it finish. Like, that's a weird thing all of a sudden to do. And I realized,
well, there's a bit of, it's supposed to represent a bit of built up sexual repression in her. It's hinted at throughout the whole first act of the movie.
Nothing is hinted at in this movie. It's heavy handed as fuck.
What?
I was saying, why are you going to be like, oh my gosh, my aunt is having sex. I should leave. Wait, she's about to come. Let's see how this goes. Ew. It's weird. And then, oh, look, she has a dream that forces.
So that's what ruined this movie for you?
No, what ruins the movie for me at this point is it wasn't good. Like, I don't know how else to say it. And it was art house for the sake of art house type stuff.
It was.
Yes, it was. There was nothing good about it. They're like,
if it was art house for the sake of art house, they would have made stuff more flashy.
No, art house doesn't always make shit flashy. Sometimes they'll just have like a person in a room going.
But I mean, they would have highlighted. They would have highlighted the elements that make it an art house. Are you thinking avant-garde? Or are you thinking?
I don't know. It's all crap.
Art house.
I don't like movies like this. Like they tried to act like it's like, oh, you have to like this movie or else you're trash, peasant.
Another person said, I think Golden will really like Skinner.
It's always Mr. Sir. It's always Mr. Sir. He's like, oh, I'm not, you know what, Mr. Sir, if you want to talk crap about me, then you should be here talking crap.
Yeah, not eating critter eggs.
Not eating critter eggs, sir. We went over this. I'm just saying.
Actually, we never did. We kind of hinted at it.
Did. Well,
if you ask you, we would have been heavy-handed about it.
They were heavy-handed. Come on. Okay.
What was heavy-handed?
Pause this thing right now. Pause it right now if you want to be surprised by what happens in the movie.
Because the movie doesn't set up any surprises. The movie is very linear.
Oh, they're cannibals.
Okay.
They're supposed to be like,
It never tries to trick you.
The only person that lost weight in that movie was poor Philip. Because he got chopped up and eaten. Philippe. I'm just saying, like, also, you know what? You want to know something else that pissed me off?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, the scene at the end, towards the end, where they finally have their big religious dinner, right? And she's like, because they've been fasting, and she goes, you can eat as much as you want. Now, if you tell me I can eat as much as I want, and then all you put on my plate is a small piece of meat, I'm going to fucking kill you. That's not all I want.
Letting her try it.
No, But she had vegetables and everything too, and she put nothing on there but a small piece of meat. Then she cut it,
And
for
she
her,
knew
like
what
a
it was.
Weirdo. Yeah, she knew what it was, but then she tried to pretend. Oh, I didn't know it was Philip. Yes, you did. Stop.
Well, she was.
Stop.
She had her speculations, but she didn't know for sure
Yes, she did.
because she goes back and looks at the picture after to verify.
No, she didn't. This whole movie was garbage. It wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't. It was slow. They gave you nothing, like no big payout for. And you. Here's the thing about a slow burn.
They
If you're
set
gonna do
up
a good,
the whole premise. The whole premise is that it's
what the
going
fuck
to
is
be
a
a
premise?
cannibal
Is it a
dinner.
premise? I don't know the word premise. I'm kind of fucking with you, but at
Tomato,
the same time,
tomato.
I might be stupid, and I might be.
No,
There might be a different word called premise. I don't know. No, if you're gonna do a slow burn, you better fucking pay it out at the end and give me something good. Give me something that makes it okay that I sat through this slow shit that like 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh, they're cannibals. Okay.
What did you
I
want?
I wanted just anything, something spectacular. Give me something to
They've
make it
set
worth
up
sitting
all
there.
this.
They didn't set up crap. They're like, you're gonna starve, and then you're gonna be a
She's
part
a
of my special.
dietitian, and she's talking about the old ways and how the knowledge of the old ways has like a universal truth to it.
It wasn't good. They didn't set up anything. They didn't pay off anything. They're like, oh my god, we've been eating Philip the whole time. You know what? They did it better in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Meatloaf for dinner again.
We got a comment from someone else.
You don't say someone else. It's Mr. Sir.
The unstoppable force meets the unmovable object.
This is probably why Mr. Sir didn't want to be here today. He
didn't even know.
He's like, I'm not sitting between these two fucks that are not. They're going to be on opposite sides of this movie. I'm not going to sit between it.
He would have been on my side.
Watch his Golden. He might have been. That's fine. It doesn't mean it's right.
I'm for sure.
I didn't realize that
movie he would like.
2-1 majority means you're right. It doesn't mean you're right.
It does, yeah.
It means that democracy sucks sometimes.
You're not allowed to have your own opinion, Golden.
I'm allowed. I always have my own opinion. Sometimes I don't even agree with my own opinion, but I have it. This time I agree with it.
Is that one of these?
No, it's not.
You don't agree with
no,
your own
and
opinion?
I knew this was going to be a fight. I knew this was going to be a fight because you like more artsy type stuff, and I do sometimes. Sometimes I think it's great to have an artsy movie. Yes, it is. That's all this movie tries to do.
No, it doesn't. It's all about character development, interaction, the awkwardness of staying with this strange.
This was made in America.
That are also esoteric.
If this was made in America and it was English, you wouldn't fucking like it.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, I see already as Randy Quaid the parents.
No, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't because this isn't the same movie.
Yes, it is.
No,
you're right. Because Randy Quaid the parents was good. It was fun. It had a payout.
The tone is completely different to begin with.
Yeah, because
there's maybe
Randy Quaid starring in the parents
that are similar to what happens in the parents.
They're family and they're cannibals.
Yeah, that's it.
But still, and
the whole plot is completely different.
But Randy Quaid made it better. The plot is that they're cannibals. That's the whole plot. What else is their plot?
You didn't even say a sentence. You just made noises.
Neither did they. Half the time, that's what they were doing. Just like, oh, look, they're gonna have a dream sequence. Oh, the dream sequence where I stab my creepy uncle.
You don't think that was creepy?
No. I mean, he was creepy, absolutely, because he was like Uncle Touchy.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah,
but that doesn't make it a good movie.
What do you think the empty fridge symbolized?
That they were fasting. I wouldn't keep a full fridge either if I was fasting. That's a dick move.
That was the dream. They had a full fridge.
So that's how you should have known it was a dream. Fridge is full. Also, don't keep weird jars of water, mason jars of water in your fridge. Like that's weird too. What? He should have gotten stabbed for that. That when he was all being creepy and he grabs a mason jar of water out of the fridge.
Yeah, he just wanted it cold.
But it's in a mason jar.
So what? People use that as cups.
Yeah, you know what kind of people use that as cups?
Cannibals,
trash, and cannibals. I'm just saying.
Did the movie have any redeeming qualities for you?
At one point, I thought it did. I thought they were going somewhere different with it. That's when I messaged and said, I think there's a cool bit of foreshadowing in the movie. It's when the aunt bends over to do something and her hair falls and it makes it look like she has a witch's nose. I thought that was going to be like some foreshadowing where instead of being the obvious that they're cannibals, like she's a fucking witch. And that would have been genius. That would have been genius, and I would have totally been okay with this movie if they would have went different with it instead of going cannibals. Like, good for them, they're cannibals. I would be too if I could.
They were
It
trying
wasn't
something
frowned
new.
upon by the bougie system. I'd fucking eat people. Okay.
I mean, you knew something was going to happen from the beginning. Why? Because the aunt didn't even want her to
Well, 'cause
stay
it's a
till
movie.
Easter Sunday.
Well, it's a movie, so that's how you know something's gonna happen by the end, hopefully. But it really didn't.
But I meant the movie sets it up.
Well, yeah.
There's that awkward
Movies-
exchange with the daughter in the beginning. And she said, I thought I was staying till Monday, Dingus Day.
Dingus Day.
And the aunt's like, no, nobody likes Dingus Day. Dumb holiday.
Everybody loves Dingus Day. Look at it. I'm just happy I picked the right arm, by the way, because the camera throws me off, so I keep going to the wrong side. And I'm like, oh, now it's a dance move. You're welcome, Mr. Sir.
I really think
See
that
that?
this movie did a great job with the characters.
Of course you would think that. I don't think it did. I think everybody stayed in their lane right from the beginning.
You get to see
Aunt's
the
a creepy
exchanges.
aunt.
You get,
Uncle's a creepy uncle. Cousin's weird.
yeah. I mean,
Everybody stayed in their lane. There was no development. Nobody
how is there no
changed
development
from the
in the
beginning
movie?
to the end. Nobody changed.
There's things called flat character arcs, dude.
Yeah, all of them were flat character arcs. It was a fucking line graph. Fucking flat line from the beginning.
There is something,
Bloop, nothing.
yeah. There's something inside of Simi that becomes unleashed by the end of the movie.
You're really trying to make.
I'm
it
not,
sound better.
dude.
Nothing becomes unleashed.
Spoiler alert, she lights the aunt on fire. She stabs the uncle, like, repeatedly.
Because they're cannibals.
But she's not provoked to do it.
Yeah, she is.
No, how is she provoked?
Because the creepy uncle touched her.
He didn't.
like
That
a
was a dream.
Yeah, no, even when he was he was touching her and
He's trying to
hugging her and
calm
being
her down so she
consoling.
doesn't freak out.
Yeah, because he's
Because
a
the aunt
fucking
sees
cannibal.
something in her.
That's why the uncle's like, no, you should just fucking leave and never come back. Because the uncle's trying to save her, and she's like, stab, 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 stab. Which also they foreshadowed 2 minutes into the movie because the cousin was like, playing with my knife.
Well, it's not foreshadowing.
That's foreshadowing. It's Chekhov's pocket knife.
That's not Chekhov's
It is.
pocket knife. Dude.
Chekhov's pocket knife.
Dude.
Schrodinger's cat.
They're
People are like,
letting
"How
you
is it?"
know that something is off with this kid. And there is.
Yeah, he tastes weird. Fucking Philippe. Also, they spell Philip wrong. The subtitles.
Really, they spell Monday,
know.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday wrong too.
No, the subtitles. Like, I'm not talking about
That was his name. It's even on the door.
with an F.
Yeah.
It's weird. That's how you know they're weird. Spell Philip with an F.
Herman, dude.
What's next? Bobby? As an adult? No.
Bobby with
Bobby's not
P's?
an adult name. Bobby with a P. It's like that Steven with a P, and it's Steven. This movie was not enjoyable to me. I don't think they did any kind of a story arc. They didn't do any kind of character development. Everybody stayed in their lane from the beginning to the end. Nothing was revealed. You make me
What do you mean
sit
nothing
through
was
a
revealed?
slow,
You
boring
gotta go
fucking
into
movie
that
does
further.
nothing at the end.
What do you
Nothing was
mean
revealed.
nothing is revealed?
Like, nothing is like, there's no surprise. There's no payoff. There
is absolutely a payoff.
What payoff? What payoff was worth me
The whole
sitting
thing is
through
sets up from
an
the
hour and a
beginning.
half
That's
of
what
the most
happened at the
boring
end of the
fucking
movie.
movie? But it wasn't a payoff. It's like, oh,
Sorry,
look,
you
they're
have
eating people.
ADD.
Like, oh, look, they're
You
eating
need
people.
something
I
to
didn't know
happen
they were
every 2
eating
minutes.
people. I don't need something to happen every 2 minutes. But if you're going to make me sit through a boring ass fucking movie, give me something. Give me a treat at the end. I don't care. You know what? Even flash some titties. That would have made it better. Not the aunt's weird back. Ooh.
Aunt weird back.
No, it wasn't really weird, but I just say that. It's the weird aunt's back. How about that?
All right.
Use of the fucking adjective. It's an adjective. Okay. Fucking flashing back to elementary school there for a minute.
You saw the back of your aunt's naked back.
Ew, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying that to know whether it was an adjective.
Oh,
I'm just old, and it's like, which is fun, by the way, when you're my age and you have an 8-year-old child. She's like, help me with my homework. And I'm like, everything is changed.
yeah.
Everything is
Well,
changed.
because they have like common. Core.
Unlike
It
this
doesn't matter.
movie, everything changed throughout. It's boring. It's boring. If you guys want to watch this movie, know that you're going into a fucking snooze fest. That has no
That's why
payout.
it's called a slow burn.
Even the only thing that burned in it at the end was the end.
There were
And
some
the teepee.
candles. You're
And the-
wrong. There were some
Yeah,
candles.
there were. That was weird too. We're gonna.
Or torches or whatever they were.
I think. What were they like? Just imagine that prep. First of all, let's be honest. Let's be honest. If you've ever done like a shoot outside, and you decide to use candles, you know what's never going to happen? All of them are going to stay fucking lit. Because there's this thing called wind.
It doesn't exist in Germany.
Doesn't exist. Apparently, Germany doesn't have wind. Just cannibals that are dietitians.
No, they have lots of wind.
What a
They have
fucking
bunch
what
of
a.
winds.
Also, though, can we just talk for a minute that the aunt's a fucking sham?
Hmm?
She's a sham. She has books written, dietitian books about how to lose weight and everything. But her secret is eating people, which you know she doesn't put in the book.
The
She
name
doesn't
of
put in the book.
the name of
I
the
eat
book
people.
is like low carb, of course.
Yeah, but they don't. She doesn't say fucking carve up your son because he doesn't listen.
It was on the new book she was working on. Character development. Boom.
Stop. There was no character development.
She went from
She was
went
living
from
large
the-
off her
she
book
went
sales of her
from-
lie.
she went from the new ways to the old ways.
Yeah. Fucking, she's a sham and you know it.
It's not a sham.
Okay, so you think that she wrote in the book the true way that she stayed so svelte. I eat fucking children. That was
That's
that was
not the
chapter
case.
5 in the book.
That's not the case.
It is because that's why she's slowly getting her into it so she can lose her weight. She's like, "You come to me to lose weight the day of my daughter's bar mitzvah." I don't know. What the fuck
Daughter's bar mitzvah.
I don't know what happened. It went weird. It went off the rails. The movie's just dumb.
What do you think about the characters acting?
Okay, it was well acted. It was well lit. Everything other than the actual fucking story was really well done in this movie. That's why it hurts that much more. That I see how well acted it is, how well lit it is, how the shots were amazing.
Yeah.
But the story was just a fucking wah 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 letdown for me, and that made it worse.
I felt like it was a good
Yeah,
playground for the actors to explore their characters. It was
The
awesome.
only good playground was that sweet teepee.
TV.
The teepee that they made of sticks that the ant fucking got roasted.
Oh.
by.
Yeah. What was that for? Because I'll give you that. They never really explained.
It was because that's where the cousin went to fucking hide and play, but it's like it was in the middle. Okay,
She asked him something and he says it's for like Easter Monday or something.
Yeah, just-
Stefan, the dad.
but it was funny because it was like his secret place, but it's not like it was in the middle of the woods. He's like, "Oh, right in the middle of this open fucking clearing, I'm gonna put this giant fucking TV," and he was probably super proud of it. Like it was like he was 6. Yeah, it was like a treehouse for someone who's scared of heights. Like he's like, "I can't climb a tree, so I'm gonna build this weird teepee." That took a lot of effort, and there's zero space in there. So I mean, how much fun are you gonna have in that thing? There's not even a door.
I really thought
Couldn't even jerk off in it.
there were like a
Or-
couple little problems.
Like the story, script,
Yeah, just a couple.
fucking
Small things. I thought one of the ways that it was going to be spoiled about Philip
Philippe.
was she was going to
Why do I
talk.
keep saying French? Jesus, it was a German movie, guys. I'm sorry. I don't. We.
I
if
thought she
you-
was going to talk to the mom, and the mom's going to be like, "Oh, your uncle died years ago, or something. He doesn't live in Vienna, you know."
Oh, you thought they were gonna go with like a fucking M. Night Shyamalan twist, like something that wasn't really a big thing. Like you thought that's what they were gonna go with.
No, I just thought that was going to be a way to reveal that something's wrong with.
Oh, you mean he's a zombie?
No, the uncle, like his real dad, because Stefan gets off the phone and he's like, "Oh, he's with his dad in Vienna,"
Oh, okay, I get you. I thought you meant like they're gonna be like,
and then she was going to talk
like
to her
Stefan
mom.
was dead the whole time.
No, she was going to talk to her mom. No,
At least that would have been something. Jesus.
it, but that doesn't happen. And then she goes like 3 days without talking to her mom. Why wouldn't the mom call the aunt? Or I mean, maybe she did, and it just didn't show it. But
Here's my real question: why did Stefan stay with her?
he wanted to try that sweet meat.
Clearly didn't. He clearly didn't believe in any of the shit that went along with it because he was like,
Are you
"Oh,
sure
you
that
should
wasn't
eat
a
some of this
manipulation
food."
tactic?
He's like, "You should eat some of this food so she doesn't know that I did it." Like he clearly didn't buy in, and he thought she was horrible. So leave.
I don't even know if
She
it's
clearly doesn't have that
buy
much
in, he
money
just
from her
doesn't
book
want it back.
sales.
Yeah.
No, I think he doesn't buy in.
I mean, they have a nice house in the country away from people.
I mean, away from people is nice. That's a huge selling
You
point.
don't think it was that nice of a house?
Oh, do you really want to live away from people if that's your main source of
I'm
food?
just saying. I think she.
That's like
got
saying I
decent
only
money
eat
for her
cows, but
books.
I'm going to move to the desert. That makes
Said
no
she
sense.
wasn't getting any money for her books.
It's not. I mean,
And
her sham books.
her husband's not working.
You don't have to work when you live out in the middle of fucking.
Still got to get food, man.
Yeah, apparently you got to lure like children there and eat them. That's how they get food and shoot rabbits.
Would have been a nice touch if he wasn't even actually her cousin.
I mean, that would have been a nice touch, but they didn't do it. Like, you got a black eye.
But now he's with them forever.
And then like the whole like, oh, I made more of your favorite. Like, and then I felt like they tried to like really make like her cooking scene. You know, the scene where she like cooks for him and like to make up for being mean to him.
Sure.
And like the looking at his mobile. Your mobile, please. Fucking French again. God damn it, I'm bad.
What was with the rabbit scene?
It was just show that like he could kill.
No. I mean the dinner scene where he's trying to give away the rabbit, and she says she's not hungry, or she says she's hungry and can't do the fast anymore.
Oh, I don't
And
know.
and Philip's trying to give her his food.
Probably because he doesn't want. Maybe they had a small child that they were going to cook for that special dinner, but now that there was a third person that was going to eat, he knew that his shit was on the chopping block because he was bigger and more meat. Maybe. But again, that would have been a character development that I would have enjoyed.
She seemed to enjoy the meat.
That's because she was starving, and then they just gave her a small little. I would have.
Tough to say because she was.
It was like this. It was like I would have enjoyed tofu at that point. I don't like tofu.
It does set up from the beginning where she says, with the candy bar sequence, which I don't understand still. If that was her cousin that put it in there, or Aunt
I
Claudia.
think her cousin was trying to get her the fuck out of there. I honestly think that everything that I think her cousin was trying, and then he went crazy instead. Like, you're with her. But I think honestly, people like maybe it was the cousin, maybe it was the uncle. So they were trying to get her out of that house before she bought into the cannibalism, which is a cool thing. But they should have explored that more. Then I would have maybe enjoyed the movie. But instead, I felt like it was like, oh, we'll hint at it, but we won't really. Blah, blah, blah. And there was no payoff. There was no payoff. They hinted at things and then didn't.
I think there was a payoff. I mean, it just wasn't as heavy-handed as you wanted it to be.
No payoff.
The whole movie is set up for the family dinner.
Writing. Set up for the family dinner because that's in the name of the movie. Roll credits.
Yeah, but I mean that's what the whole thing
there.
is about. Is about this
that, but
family's journey to cannibalism.
It wasn't the family's journey. It was only her journey to cannibalism. The rest of the family's been fucking eating cannibal. Has been cannibals a long time. Guaranteed. That's not their first foray into eating people.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
You don't. The first time you decide to be a cannibal, you don't fucking put out a spread. You just take a little testy test.
Well, she's also like a chef.
Yeah, a fucking cannibal chef.
Yeah. So
she's been for years.
No.
Yeah.
That's the whole setup for the movie.
It's not the whole setup. This isn't their first foray into cannibalism. No matter what they want to try to
she's doing all that research.
It's not the first foray into cannibalism. I'm sorry. It's not how you do it. You don't do it fucking the big old fancy dinner. Just plus, if you think about it, if you want to try cannibalism, are you just gonna make human in one way? No, you're gonna make it like 5 different ways. See which way you like it. Maybe you like barbecue human.
Okay.
Maybe you like fucking sauteed. I don't know. Maybe you like the fucking backstraps.
It's not like they used all the meat.
Humans have backstraps.
Yeah, of course. It's not like they.
I don't know if
any animal with a spine does.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what backstraps actually were. I just always hear them. Venison. People are like, I got the backstraps, but I've never heard about cow backstraps. Are they just called
because they're huge.
From cows. What about pig backstraps? Is that bacon? No,
those
bacon's
are
the belly.
Yeah, well,
Mr. Sir, you've been commenting every 2 seconds.
Well, he
look up to tell me what they fucking call backstraps from cows.
Because we started spoiling the movie.
He did. He fucking dipped out. He's like, no. He's like, I want to watch this awesome movie. Garbage.
You're the only person in the world that didn't like this movie.
I guarantee I'm not the only. Nope. This is something that can be proven. If we go to IMDb and there's nothing but good reviews,
All right. Well,
Did you get to the reviews? Oh,
Oh,
number 2.
6.2
Number 2, 2
out of
stars.
10.
Feels like a
What?
student short
Okay.
film made into a movie.
What's the next one?
That's a 10. That's a
No,
10.
what to say? What 10?
Dude,
10, 7,
Okay. You
7.
said everybody. You said I'm the only one that doesn't like
Okay,
this movie.
there's 2 people in the world that don't like this movie. One of them is Anki
The
Copy.
worst movie I have ever watched. I swear to God, this is by far the worst movie I've ever watched. The whole movie has no sense, and every scene is predictable. The acting is very bad. Okay, you know what? Now I disagree with him because the acting wasn't bad. Like that. Okay, you know what? He's
Yeah,
wrong
and
about that
the
because
movie
the
is
acting was
predictable for
well
sure.
done. The movie's predictable, but the whole
But I don't think
point of
that
a
takes
slow
away
burn,
from it.
It does if it's a slow burn.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
You're getting to the point. Like slow burn doesn't have to.
You're getting to the
doesn't
point
have to
exactly, but
meet-
there's no point.
It doesn't have to meet the conventions of the genre at that point. It's allowed to go into exploratory territory.
There was no exploratory territory. That's
It's
the
about
problem.
this family's journey to cannibalism.
They already journeyed to cannibalism a long time ago. They're fucking weird.
You're just making that up so
No,
you
I'm not.
just to try to prove me wrong.
No, I'm not. Listen, I can prove you wrong by telling people to watch it, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is fucking crap."
I would be careful who I recommended this to.
Yeah, you make sure it's someone that you don't want to talk to ever again, because they're gonna hate you for telling them to watch this garbage. Steaming pile of poop. I could shit in a box and
You don't even want to know what
foreign.
my score is for this.
I could tell you what my score is. I could poop in a box and mark it foreign, and you know what? Fucking movie snobs would eat it up. Eat it up.
You're so off base.
Like the family ate up Philip. But it's not good. I guarantee you, if this was made in America by Americans and it was English, people that love this movie wouldn't like it because now once it's not foreign,
If it was
you
shot
can't
the
act like
exact
you're
same
all.
way, yes, I would.
No, fuck no, you wouldn't because the story was shit. It was shit. And once it's marked foreign, that's when the people are like, well, I gotta say I like it. Because if I say I don't like a foreign movie, then people are gonna be like, oh, he
that's
doesn't
not
really like
true.
cinema. I
That's
like
not-
cinema. I like fun movies too. But you know what? I want a fucking payoff. You're gonna make me sit through boring shit. Make it worth it.
How would you have
And the
made a
ant being
payoff?
lit on fire was not a good enough payoff.
How would you have made this a payoff?
I don't know. Just surprise me. Surprise me with anything.
So you need a surprise.
And some
Or
sort of
a payoff.
surprise. If it's a slow burn, absolutely.
So you need a surprise.
If it's a mindless horror movie, I don't need a surprise. I don't, because I know what I'm getting into. But if you're giving me a slow burn, you're saying, hey, I want you to sit here and watch over an hour of nothing fucking happening.
You know, they have a word for fans like you. It's called sheep. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, you dread. I'm just saying, like,
Well, it's okay to want a
if
surprise.
I'm-
I just
if I'm watching I
don't
don't
need it.
always need a surprise, but if I'm watching a slow burn, there has to be a payoff.
what was the surprise in Critters 2?
It didn't have to. It wasn't a fucking slow burn.
Oh, so only a slow burn has
Yes.
to have a surprise.
No, not only, you know what? Here's the thing. You need, if you're going to make me sit through certain things,
So
you
if
need
it's a
there has
slow
to be
burn,
a payoff.
okay,
It's like,
not only a slow
You
burn.
can't do a
but
gore fest. You can't do a shock and awe gore fest and not have a reason, not have a payoff for it. So there's two opposite sides of the thing.
But it's not, because
So
what
there's-
you're saying
There's
isn't
movies
accurate.
like this that are all slow and they try to lead you to something, but then they're leading you to nothing. And then there's movies that are like shock
It's
and
not
awe,
leading you
but
to
they
nothing.
don't lead you to it, so they didn't earn that. Neither of them came together for the full experience for me. If you give me a slow burn, you need to fucking make it worthwhile. Give me a reason to sit there. Like, okay, imagine you were going on a 6-hour car ride. Okay? 6-hour ur ride through nothing with no good visuals or anything. You're just a 6-hour car ride. And at the end, you were at a fucking gas station. Just a regular gas station too, not a cool gas station, not a gas station with like weird showers or something.
Do I know
Just a
I'm
regular
going
gas
to the
station,
gas
and then you
station
just
in the
go
first
home.
place?
But you don't know.
Well, in this movie,
Did
you
they-
did.
did they
It's
start out
called
by saying-
Family Dinner.
Did they start off by saying, hey, we're gonna fucking have you sit through an hour and a half of boring shit and not give you a payoff? No, they didn't say that.
It's called Family Dinner.
Okay.
You pretty much know what's promised when the movie begins.
You know what? Randy Quaid did it better when it was called Parents. And they knew they were going to have parents in it. And then you know what? They gave you the parents right away. And they were fun parents. They were different parents. They weren't just a fucking family dinner where they ate up Philip. Just saying. No payoff.
Different genre movie, different style of movie.
Yeah, one was better. Randy
I mean, this movie isn't for you. That's clear, which is fine.
No, it was not.
You know, I struggle with a lot of horror comedies, like
Which is fair.
like
They have a payoff.
really slaps.
Called
No,
jokes.
they don't always.
It's called jokes.
Yeah,
Jokes
and
are
a lot
fun.
of them aren't funny.
That's fair. Can't always hit the mark.
Look, I'm thinking of the movie The Editor.
Fuck is that?
Everybody, it's been recommended to me by a lot of people, and I sat down and I
boring.
watched it. And, oh my gosh,
It sounds
like
it sounds like it's boring and not even
it has
ironically
purposely
boring.
bad
See, I don't
dialogue.
I don't like that. I don't like
because it's playing to the giallo genre where like everything's kind of told to you.
But that's the thing is like once you get into like the area of like I don't like
all
spoof horror
it's
comedy.
it's
See, like that's the thing is like I like
Auditory
certain
dialogue.
kinds of comedy horror,
and
like
then they
Tucker and Dale
steal
versus
straight
Evil.
scenes from different giallos.
Yeah, see, that's spoof. Then that becomes
It
a
wasn't.
like,
It is in a
idiot
sense.
spoof.
Like
And
it's
spoof's not
definitely
fun.
satire in a sense, but it
Spoof
just
stopped being fun
I'm
after
not into
like
that
the
kind of
first
movie,
scary movie.
and that's fine. I can
Scary movie
understand
was
why people
good.
would like it, but it's not for me. But so like this movie is good, but it's just not for you.
No,
You even said it's good.
I said it's shot good. It's acting good. Like everything was there. If they would have just had a payoff, I would have loved the movie. I would have. There was no payoff. And you
without
gotta
the
give me a
movie,
reason to
you
go on
hate
this
it?
journey. Yes.
Without the payoff, I mean, you hate it.
Because if you don't give me a reason to go on this journey, I don't want to drive 6 hours to go to a fucking gas station. Just
What if it's called the trip you're signing up for?
The name of it doesn't matter. The name of it doesn't matter.
Hey, we're taking a gas station road trip.
Then I'd be like,
that's exactly what
there's
this
going to be
title.
some cool shit along the way. And if they're like, no, then I'm like, I'm not going to go because I don't want to sit in.
Which is fair. That's fine.
They did, but by watching a movie,
they promised you a family dinner and they delivered.
No, they promised me a fun experience or a good experience.
I don't believe
if it's a slow burn, then you better crank up.
I don't think so.
The
There's nothing on the cover that's
to
promising.
me, there was no I didn't have the cover. I didn't have a fucking DVD in my hand. And plus, we can't go off covers of movies. We talk about.
You're the one that brought it up. You brought up the cover. You said, you said they promised me a fun movie from the cover.
No, not from the cover. Just here's the thing. If you're gonna do a slow burn movie, you gotta give me something, some atmosphere. Like it didn't even have atmosphere. I didn't feel anxious at any time. Like not anxious one bit.
I'm talking shit about you right
now. Of course you are. That's normal. They didn't there was no anxiety, they didn't crank up the atmosphere. There was no payout for me. And it doesn't have to be a surprise, it has to be a twist. But you know what? You gotta make me feel anxious, like feel like something might happen. Even if it doesn't happen, at least make me feel it. Give me like it's not a horror movie.
Okay. So you think at no point in this movie that they didn't make you feel like something might happen?
I mean, they made me feel like something might happen, but it didn't feel like it was going to be like.
But isn't that what you just said?
No, because
there's no tension in this film.
Not to me. No.
Are you kidding?
I felt no tension.
Not even awkward tension.
Because you know what? For me to feel tension, I have to actually care if anybody in this movie fucking dies, and I didn't.
Even the makeup in this movie is good.
Yeah. It was good. But I didn't care enough about anybody to give a shit if they died.
Like,
I hope they. I was hoping they would all die.
When Simi's starving, I can almost feel that.
That's just because your stomach was gone before we started.
It was.
Fucking.
I'm not even hungry.
He gets so into character. He fasted for like 3 days for this. He's got his cousin and cooking in the crock pot out there. I feel like human would be good in crock pot. Maybe not. This depends.
There was definitely plenty of Philip left over to
fucking randomly leave like chunk of his arm on the table. Like it was weird. It was a weird.
Well, he cut it off to give the middle finger in the text message.
Oh, that makes sense.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of things you didn't realize that made sense that did.
No, I think what we're realizing that if you would have put any of these into the movie, it would have been better.
I think actually, if this was an American movie, you would have liked it a lot better.
No, I would not have,
because there were hints and stuff throughout the movie.
Hints, but it didn't pay off. There was no tension, and I
it was
didn't give a
written
shit
in
about any of
German.
the characters. None of those characters made me give a shit about.
You don't have to give a shit about the
I
character.
do.
Can you empathize with any of them?
No,
at all
I don't
during
give
the
a
whole
shit
movie.
about them. No, that's the thing. Here's if
You
you want me
see where they're coming from for any of this.
I mean, I can see where they're coming from. They're coming from the fucking.
It's called
unemployment line
empathizing
where
with
they
the
belong.
Oh my gosh!
Because they're fucking shitty. No, they're not shitty. They're good actors. I don't want to despair because that's the thing. It's like I'm not going to be like one of those people that you see that'll be like, "Yeah, I hated this movie. It's dumb," and then they give no critique. I have a critique. There was no tension to me. For me, in order for
no tension at all,
give a shit about a kill in any movie.
To be
anybody
fair,
dying,
you
if it's
watched
a horror
this movie in chunks.
That's why I watch all the movies in chunks.
But you're ruining the building of tension for the movie.
Dude, I watched fucking I watched The Sadness and I watched fucking Incantation in chunks. You know what Incantation
You
did?
know
It
what?
had me anxious as fuck.
You know what?
Anxious as
Imagine if you
fuck.
watched it in
I
one
watched
sit
that in
through.
more chunks. Like I watched that in smaller chunks and I still felt
Because it
anxious.
scared you so much you had to keep stopping.
No, that shit hasn't happened since like Pet Cemetery when I was a kid.
Oh
Fucking
yeah, that
a
Zelda
long
scene.
time. No, it wasn't even that. So it was fucking and I didn't realize back then I
Sometimes
didn't
it
realize
is
I only
better.
had like 10 minutes left in the movie, but it was when fucking Gage starts going after like
Oh yeah.
does that phone call. He does that phone call and I was like, nope, stop. Didn't realize I had
That's the
10
same-
minutes left in the movie. I'm like,
It's the same kid from New Nightmare.
that's the same kid that as a grown up I thought I was gonna get a restraining order against me from.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that story.
That's it, because I mean
Film festival,
I mean I doubt he's listening to our podcast and if he is whatever, but he's a dick. He's a dick. He's a straight up dick. Like I get it if you're like a big star, right? Like you're a like I understand like if I was at a thing at a bar or a party or whatever and Arnold Schwarzenegger was there and I realized that he's still not a huge star, but he's still whatever. And I was like, "Oh, Arnold, my friend over there is a really big fan. Can you just come over and just say hi and I'll buy you a drink?" I can understand Arnold being like, "Get the fuck out of here." Cuz I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. But you haven't done shit. You haven't done shit in fucking years since you stopped being a cute kid. And you're at a horror convention where people are there to see you and all this stuff. And I get it that what you want is you want the ladies. But the person I pointed out that wanted to say hi to you was a fucking lady. And she was a good looking lady. And I'm like, hey, just stop over real quick. I'll buy you a drink. I'll buy you a drink. I just want you to come over and say hi. That's all I'm asking for. Come over and say hi. I was very respectful. Very respectful. I didn't say, come over here right now. I said, when you get a chance. He's like, and he looked at me and he said, yeah, just let me finish messaging this person and I will. And then I go over where I was and I see him, he finishes messaging, and then he just goes right the fuck off to someplace else and talks to a bunch of women that were like laughing at him. They were laughing at him because he's nobody. And like that's shitty. That's shitty. You have fans. Either you treat your fans well
Or like politely
Or-
decline.
or politely, which would have been fine if you would have said, "Not sorry, man, not interested." I would have been like, "I get it."
It's not like you discovered him out in the wild. Like he
Right.
was at a horror
Yeah,
convention.
he wasn't like having
Where
family dinner.
Fans
And I
are
was interrupting it, and I didn't even interrupt what he was doing. Like I stood by him, waited for him to look up from his phone, and not like I was like, "Hey, man." And I'm sorry too if you're 5 foot
Yeah, you're
nothing.
that guy.
If you're 5 foot nothing, also don't shit on people because guess what? You can get
But
picked
it's
up.
not like he said
You get
something
picked-
rude to you at least.
That's true. He didn't say anything rude, but he was rude. You know who else
I mean,
was there?
that was rude.
You know who else was there who has just as much of a career? Ari. Right? Is that
Yeah.
Ari, how you say it? Who was the first Jason? And he turns hard into that skit. Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I made a band called The First Jason. All of our songs are about Jason. Which is fine. But he was a nice guy. Like that's the thing. He knows who he is and he knows why he's there. And that's important to me. Like I'm not saying you owe your fucking life to us. Like one of my favorite stars is Bruce Campbell, and he treats his fans like shit, but he does it on purpose and he does it comedically. Like that's what you expect from him is him to be mean to you because that's who he is. But to be like what has he done? What has this dude done other than things that were because he was the kid in Pet Cemetery or New Nightmare? You know what he did? Because he bitched because he was up for the role in Sixth Sense and he didn't get it.
Really?
Because he did get it, and then then the director was like, he was just with Bruce Campbell in Mercury Rising, so we got to do a different kid, which was Haley Joel Osment.
Bruce Campbell or Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was because he was Mercury Rising in Sixth Sense. You knew who I was talking. But you know what I mean? Like I don't get it. Like I think, and I don't think that these people that are in these movies and everything owe their fans like their entire livelihood or anything like that. But if you're gonna,
Just a
if you
modicum
say
of
that,
respect.
yeah, like, and I get it. If I was a dick, be a dick back to me. But I was very respectful because I don't want to come off as a dick. I don't want him to feel like he owes me something. But it's not like he was rushing off to go somewhere. He was still at the party. He was still at the after party.
Kindergarten Cop, Mercury Rising, New Nightmare.
Yep, there you go.
That's what he's known for.
That's what he's known for because
In 5 upcoming
I
movies.
guess,
Black Friday,
which I bet you it'll be I bet you every one of those
Reaper's
has
Night,
some nod to one of his movies he's known for.
Dylan's New Nightmare, and he's got his own.
Yep.
Short.
Oh, and look, Sucks to Suck. That's probably a true story about him. Sorry, I just don't like him because of that. I just thought that was a shitty move. Like Kane Hodder was there, not at the party. I don't think Kane does that. But I think with Kane, it's more.
What kind of stuff were you guys doing?
It was just a party. It was an after party.
Like doesn't do after parties.
I think the problem with Kane Hodder is because of who he played. So since he played Jason, and because my friend when she
Miko Hughes is the actor's name.
Well, when my friend went up to meet Kane Hodder at the autograph session, like she said, she goes, "Can you choke me?"
Yeah,
and he's like, "I can't." Ever since there was a legal problem, which I get. So I get like why he doesn't go to a party like that because I guarantee someone's going to get drunk and try to fight him and they'll lose because Kane Hodder's a big dude. He really is, but he's cool about stuff. Like I understand those things, but you can't come over and say hi to a fan.
Did you ever watch the doc about him or read his book? It's really good.
No,
yeah. You should look that up.
I would. I'm sure.
I'll link it to you in the chat.
I mean, it's got to be hard to be known for playing a character like Jason just because they're so replaceable. Like they really are. Like you can't replace Freddy Krueger because enough of his face shows through in his personality. But Jason's all you need is
I don't know,
a Hulk of a guy.
Jackie Earl Haley.
He did a horrible job, and it wasn't even his fault. That wasn't even Jackie Earl.
He's a good actor.
It was the makeup artist's fault. They made him look and the writing.
They wanted to make him look more like an actual.
He looked like a burnt fish. Like it was. I realized that. Oh, we're trying to be. And then they made Freddy a kid toucher.
Well, I think that was always the idea.
No. It was hinted at. But here's the problem with Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
You know why everybody likes Freddy Krueger? Because you root for him.
Right.
But you can't root for a kid toucher. Like
absolutely
once
not.
that becomes like, oh, he was a pedophile, you're like, oh shit. I can't root for him anymore.
Yeah.
And now you lose the whole point.
It's messed up
to
begin with that he's already murdering little kids.
Oh yeah, but you can forgive that because who hasn't been in a restaurant and been like, oh, I'll kill that kid. I'm just saying. I mean, and people are like, well, I would never kill a kid. Fuck it. I'm joking. Deal with it. Just stop. But the fact is, like, you can't root for it, and I've said it a million times. That's why the new version of Nightmare on Elm Street was because they 100% came out and said he touches kids. And that is a fucking no-go because now you can't root for him, and that means you don't want to see him in multiple movies.
I mean, you should really just be expanding. I mean, even in Scream 5, there said, did you watch Scream 5? There's a little bit of spoiler, but they're like,
I honestly haven't watched.
Don't fuck
Scream
with the
2.
original.
That's fair. I mean, here's okay. So here I do have I honestly have a problem with Scream movies and Ghostface. And
we've only watched 2 of them.
Right. But here's what my problem has nothing to do with the movies.
Okay.
My problem is anytime you see anything about horror franchises, right? Anything when they put up they always like to have the Holy Trilogy up there, right? Which is for horror movies. It's Freddy, Jason, Michael. Then who, if they ever have a
Who's
fourth,
Michael?
Michael Myers?
Who's that?
You motherfucker. You piece of shit.
Sorry, keep going. I'm sorry.
He's right here. I can't. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's the guy in the white mask.
So, but like, if they ever have a fourth, who do they always put into there? Always Ghostface.
Regan from.
Stop. Now you're just
The Exorcist.
Purposely being a jerk. They always put Ghostface in, and I honestly don't think that Ghostface.
Because you've only seen 2 of the movies.
I could have watched 20 of them. I could have only watched. I'm just saying, like they're. You know who else they like to put in there? Like fucking Ring Girl. She's been in 1 fucking movie.
No, she hasn't.
2? Has there been 2? There's been 2 movies.
Samara.
And then like a million spoofs. Every spoof that
there's been more than 2 Ring movies. There's also Rings, but there's also.
If you're about to call it Ringu, but that was still the same movie as Ring.
No, well, it's not the same movie.
Okay, I'll give you that, but it was supposed to.
Otherwise, you have to say Jackie Earl.
No, it's supposed to be the same movie though. But it was supposed to be the same movie.
It's an American adaptation of.
But like if you talk about Freddy movies,
there's so many of those movies in Japanese. Yeah,
there are.
Of course I do.
But I'm saying I don't
actually enjoy that movie.
I don't think Ghostface should be in that one. I think Ghostface should be in a separate one.
If you can separate it from Nightmare on Elm Street, it's really not terrible.
It is though.
Because those old Nightmare movies can always be there to go back to.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not one of those
And
people that's
yeah,
like, get
it
off
was a
my lawn.
letdown for the expectation part of it, for sure. Um, but I still think, all things aside, I enjoy that movie.
My problem is that they recast it, and they did a great job at recasting, which is always going to be your hardest hurdle to recast somebody that's been so amazing and so iconic for so many people. But then they dropped the ball
Yeah, and
by changing the makeup. And even if they would have changed the makeup, that wasn't good. Like that wasn't something that induces any kind of fear. It was. I just don't think the makeup was good. I understand what they were going for. I don't think it was good. And then changing the character to make the character more hated. You clearly don't want to make this into a franchise now. So you cut your own throat. But you know they wanted to make it into a franchise. They didn't think that through. They didn't think through what made Nightmare on Elm Street such a good franchise.
it's not just that. All those slashers, what made them such beloved? Because I mean, a lot of them aren't good movies, but people love them because of the horror character. Like, look at Jason. Like, they obviously didn't know what made Jason work when they did the
He wasn't
remake.
even in the first movie, really.
Yeah, he wasn't at all. Well, yeah, he was.
He was in a little
That's
at the end.
Ari.
Ah!
Yeah, that's the rock star.
Dude, they have the we were at Best Buy yesterday, and they had a Friday the 13th 2 action figure.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, it was nice because they had like the bag, the burlap sack with the eye.
Did you ever see the Scream box set for the Blu-ray box set for Friday the 13th? It's right up there on the corner.
Is it awesome?
Oh yeah,
It's not-
it's
but
super awesome.
the thing too is like, and I'm just gonna say this, and maybe it's just me because I'm not because of the Holy Trinity. I'm always Freddy's my favorite, absolutely my favorite.
Michael's mine.
Sarcasm and stuff. But if you
Even
were
though
to
I don't
show
know who
me
he
a
is.
scene from a Friday the 13th movie, and I don't mean just some random dumb scene. I mean, show me a scene with Jason doing a kill, and chances are I could not tell you which one it was from.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen him that many times?
No. I mean, I've seen them, but to me, like they're very.
You can kind of tell
they're
by
good
what
and I
Jason
like
looks
them.
like, though.
Yeah.
He looks
If he's
very
in space,
distinct
I
in
know it's
every.
Jason X.
I mean, even from like 6 and 7, he looks very distinct.
That one, but then of course, I have my favorites. And
1 through
I'm
and
sure
4.
that I'm sure your favorite is because it's just the person you are. The person's like, well, I'm gonna pick my favorite's going to be the one that everybody else hates.
What? What's my favorite?
I don't know. I don't know which one everybody else hates. It's probably the one with Corey
My-
Feldman. It's probably your favorite, right? Corey
That's the one
Feldman.
everybody loves.
No,
Friday the 13th?
see, you're being a jerk.
I'm not being a jerk. That's the final chapter? You think everybody hates that?
Was he the final chapter with the one with Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
What was the one with the psychic?
That was 7. I love 7.
7's the best one.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
That's
That's
always
my
been my favorite.
All-time favorite. Also, 3 was probably
The worst?
the worst. Yeah. And the only
Top 5.
reason 3 was probably the worst is because if you don't watch it in 3D, there were so many forced 3D things. So it's just like,
Yeah, but that's what gives it a charming appeal.
I mean, I won't lie. I do like Freddy's Dead. I mean, it's not my favorite. I like Freddy's Dead. See, you've grown. You've grown.
Well,
You like Freddy's Revenge.
I don't hate it.
Freddy's Revenge is your favorite. You're an art house guy. Oh, look
I
at all
do
the
like
undertones.
Freddy's Revenge. But here's why I like Freddy's
Garbage.
Revenge, though. Because
art house.
in our area, nobody carried Nightmare on Elm Street 2. So I went years and years and years just wanting to get that
Oh.
movie.
You know what? Maybe that's why I like
could see
Freddy's
every
Dead
other
so
one.
much.
Yeah.
Is because I was grounded when it was in theaters.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't get to see the 3D. And then when it came out on VHS, it wasn't in 3D. So all I ever thought about was how much I wanted to see it in 3D. And then the box set came out on DVD and it had 3D glasses with the original 3D ending. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a good movie.
I mean, obviously, if
was
I had to
fun.
pick a favorite, I really like Wes Craven's New Nightmare a lot. I just like how meta that movie gets.
It was a really good story arc. It was a good idea and I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did like it because it was like, oh, Freddy's a demon. Or Freddy. Yeah,
But if I had to pick one from a Nightmare on Elm Street, like the actual series,
Dream Warrior.
and it can't be the first one, yeah, it's probably Dream Warriors.
Here's the thing. Nightmare on Elm Street, the first Nightmare on Elm Street is going to be great because it's a straight horror. It's a 100% straight horror. That's what they were going for. And there were some scenes in it that were so amazing and so
Still are, yeah.
bone chilling, like
that
they're still in
burn.
your head.
That burn is so impressive.
The dragging, the body bag dragging
Oh,
through
yeah.
the hallway scene, that'll always be iconic. But to me, Dream Warriors, which was Nightmare on Elm Street 3, was the one where I feel like it really found its stride. It's like, what if we gave you this sarcastic asshole who's murdering kids. Are you okay with him murdering kids now because he's sarcastic? And I'm like, yeah, I am. Which gave you also what is the most
He's a little
iconic
goofy in
line
2,
from
though.
any Nightmare on Elm Street? There's one line that will
Of course, welcome to primetime, bitch.
which is Dream Warriors. And also, I like the whole idea that they're like, we're gonna fight back because this is our dreams and we can control our dreams. Like they hint on it in 1 that she can control her dreams, but in Dream Warriors, they really get into it. They're like, fuck yeah. He's like, I'm badass. Rah.
Okay, so what's your favorite Halloween movie?
See, that's another thing, and I like Michael Myers, and I accept.
That's where my DVD. If you see us looking off to the right, it's where all my horror DVDs are.
That's where Mr. Sir is actually at with cue cards. He's like, say it or I'll kill your puppy.
He's like, I'm too sick. I ate that critter egg.
Critter egg. See, that's the thing. Like, and I've seen all the Michael Myers movies, all the Halloweens. The first one I think is iconic. I really like it. I also like the one with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's in it. I'm just kidding.
Which
I
version?
do like Paul Rudd, do they?
Because yeah, there's the producer's cut and there's the Curse of Michael Myers.
I don't get into it that much. Where I'm like, whoa, with the producer's cut. There's very few movies
way
where
different.
I'm gonna, which I get, like Butterfly Effect. You watch the original ending one, and that's way better than the one that they showed most people.
Yeah,
stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not into the. I didn't get into the series enough to like watch it so hardcore to have a favorite. And I don't have.
You don't have a favorite.
I don't have a favorite. I don't have a least favorite. I enjoy them. I enjoy the whole idea behind Michael Myers.
Do you like Halloween 3?
No, we know that I don't like.
Oh, okay.
You son of a bitch. We've covered that. And again, this is where I'll get at odds with all these people like Halloween 3 is the best one because it, blah, blah. I felt like it was too slow, and it just didn't.
Are people out there actually saying Halloween 3 is the best Halloween movie?
I guarantee it. Just like there's people out there that say Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie because they got to be different.
I don't think.
Just being different.
I don't think that's being different.
It is.
Just like Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Being wrong.
That definitely has a wide range of fans.
Not good ones. Not people with any taste. Sorry.
Not true. What do you think about the Halloween remakes?
I mean, they were enjoyable. I feel like I feel like I understand what Rob Zombie was trying to do, where he was trying to give you more backstory to explain why Michael Myers is the way he is, but sometimes that undoes the whole point of it to me.
Here's a lot of flack I get because Halloween 2 is like one of my all-time favorite horror movies.
Like original Halloween 2?
No, Rob Zombie's.
Really?
Because of like, I really feel like characters that go through their ordeals they go through in his horror movies would end up messed up like that.
That is true.
And that's one of the things I love because you don't get to see that too often.
But I don't think with Michael Myers you need a backstory. You don't need sometimes what makes it such a great like tense fear is not knowing why. Like think about it. Okay, why is Strangers considered such a great movie?
It's not.
Yes, the fuck it isn't.
I hate The Strangers because the characters in that movie are so stupid.
They're stupid.
It's upset me since the day I watched it.
At the end, when there's no real reason that they did it. That was like a huge thing.
I mean, yeah, like that was the only redeeming aspect of that movie for me.
But that was a huge redeeming aspect
because they were home.
Yeah, that's the whole. What I'm saying is sometimes you don't need them. Sometimes the backstory and getting too much of a backstory ruins the tension. It ruins why you're doing this.
I actually prefer Strangers Pray at Night to original Strangers. I'm just kidding. That's the second one.
I preferred the family dinner that was on the kids show.
You didn't even watch it.
No, I fucking wouldn't watch that shit either. I'm
surprised the kinky text messages didn't lure you in.
I mean, I kind of want to watch it just to see if it really belongs on a kids channel.
It's only 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, but I don't know.
What'd you think about the Halloween 2018 and those Halloween Ends, Halloween Kills?
I think they were good for what they're good for. To me, they're popcorn horror movies. I mean, and again, and it's no offense to the people that love Michael Myers, because I know there's people out there that love Michael Myers as much as I love Freddy Krueger. Like I get that. It's just that's not my go-to horror franchise.
That was always mine growing up.
See, and so for that, everything on that's going to hit you differently.
But that's
why remakes and things like that are going to hit you differently as well, because you have more invested in the originals. Whereas I don't. Just like people wanted to know what I thought of Evil Dead the reboot, remake, whatever sequel.
Oh, it was awful.
Nobody can agree on. I liked it.
I
liked
loved
it.
it. I loved
was
it.
insane.
I loved it.
Everybody want to know how I felt because I'm fucking emotionally invested
Right.
in those characters and everything, and I thought that they did a good job. And the fact that Sam Raimi is like, this is what we would have made if we had a fucking budget.
Right.
Like, yeah, you know what? I would have been more than happy to not have a postage stamp moon. If you ever see the original,
Yeah.
Well, that even on the commentary section, like Sam Raimi rips on that constantly. It's clearly like they wanted a moon in it, so they just superimposed it, and the background wasn't right, and they didn't do a circle; they did a square. They just said, "Fuck it, we'll fix it in post." But this is post. Who's gonna watch this? You know,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna launch my career. And it did. It's
Thanks to Stephen King.
Was it Stephen? Because he put it because on the poster he said this is the best horror movie he's ever seen.
I forget how that exactly worked, but he gave him a quote and he put it on the poster.
Oh, I know it was on the poster because I had that poster.
The most haunting film I've seen in years.
Yeah, it was like Stephen King, which it's like, yeah, it's not like some
who was in the zeitgeist hardcore at that time. I mean, he still is now, but not like he was in the 80s, 90s.
You sure it wasn't? You sure it didn't make it big because of the rivalry with Freddy Krueger?
What?
Or not? Who was the rivalry with? They did a thing where Sam Raimi said that he saw in this one movie, he saw that the director had a ripped poster for a different movie. So he said in his mind, that director was saying, this movie is way better than that movie. So he put a ripped poster from his thing in the movie. And then it just kind of went back. Like they had like a bunch of little, like it's a little thing and it makes it fun. But anyway, we should wrap this up so we can give my great review score.
Yeah. So again, I would recommend this to fans of slow burns, character studies, stuff like that. I'll give it a 3.
See, I'll give it a 2.5, honestly, because everything about it was so good. Just it didn't have the payoff. It didn't give me tension, but it was well filmed. It was well directed. The actors were really good at doing their characters. Just I wanted more from the characters, and that's not the actors' fault. They did a good job. People that say that it was poorly acted, like that guy that reviewed and gave it a 1, you're wrong. You're just wrong. That's somebody that does a review and just is so disappointed in the movie, like how I was.
Yeah, he expected.
So then he just like does a fucking a scorched earth, and I'm not going to do that. It had good things about it. It did. It just wasn't like I would never rewatch this. I would never rewatch it because it didn't have a payout. I want you to give me a reason that I sat through so much that was boring to me. Because slow burn, that's what kills me about slow burns is they're boring. But if you can do a payoff for it, maybe I'm on board then. But maybe not. Because there's some slow burns that even the payoffs. That's because I fall asleep sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm old.
Like The Invitation.
Yeah,
2017.
Yeah, felt really bad about that. But man, I did a really good job at like lying my way through that whole podcast. Right,
not the whole podcast.
Oh, right at the end, I got caught. You guys brought up like an integral moment that probably would have made me love the movie. Yeah, I was like, man, I don't know. They didn't even tell me why the invitation was there. You're like, what? They blatantly told you. And I'm like, oh, well, I missed it. I was asleep. I woke. Oh, when did you wake back up?
The dinner scene.
When the red lights are everywhere.
Dinner scene.
You're like, the end? There was a minute left in the movie. I'm like, yeah, it didn't do it for me. But yeah.
All right.
I would give it 2.5 though, which is probably surprising. I bet you if Mr. Sir quit watching. If he was watching, he'd probably be shocked I would give it so high. But again, remember, I don't think a 2.5 is a good score, even though it's a halfway point. I think there are many good things about it. I think there were a lot of redeeming qualities. I just don't think overall the movie does it for me, and I don't think it's something that I would recommend to anybody. I wouldn't want to own it. I would never rewatch it.
Like I said, I'd be careful who I recommended it to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You definitely have to be. You have to be like Johnny Slowburn to like this movie. Like you have to love slow burns, and that's probably where the big problem is.
You don't have to love them.
Is that you love slow burns, so you're more forgiving. I don't like slow burns. So if I'm watching,
how did you deal with all those movies in the 70s?
Have you not realized that? Like there's some older movies I like, but there's a lot that I just don't like. They don't have a payoff. Like especially like movies in the 70s that then had nothing new about them. It's like it's not like nowadays where it's hard to make anything new. Back then, you could have made all sorts of new shit because there was nobody doing it yet. Right. Now they're fucking doing it.
All right. Well, I'm Anthony.
I'm Golden.
This is Hard Dark.
Enjoy, but not